At the heart of the Hugh Project is a discovery. The Hugh Project is a new executive design house which guides leaders toward a new way of seeing and a new way forward for genuine stewardship of self, company, and the world.
If you're willing to be present to the awareness that you're bringing and actually have a practice to up-level your awareness and that you're consistently working on, then that moves you in the direction of having a structure of mind that's capable of presencing the future that wants to happen. And there is a future that wants to happen, life itself. The intelligence of nature is such that it knows how to restore.
Yeah.
It knows how to thrive in a way that we seem to have trouble with, that our current structure of mind generally solves local problems and creates non-local problems across the planet that interferes with life's ability to thrive. That's the powering down of the planet that over time has happened, that the general pollution of the air, the land, the water, et cetera, et cetera. So then if we could become partners with life, which if you're in the environmental movement, it would be, well, let's become partners with nature. And yes, let's do that too. If we expand that to say life, the life, same life that created the entire cosmos, not just our planet. If we say that there's a set of principles that organize the nature of the cosmos such that we have 20-some cosmic constants, which were off by less than 1/billionth of a measurement, there'd be no life. All those things are so intricately balanced and still evolving at the same time. There's a balance that's moving towards an evolution of possibility.
Yeah.
If we have a practice for tuning our awareness and up-leveling that in the same way that the intelligence of the universe, cosmos, that we live in does, then we have this ability to be present to the conversation that allows us to co-create with the future that this intelligence actually wants to happen. There's a direction to this tendency towards complexification, that the tendency for a system to break down and fall apart is countered by the tendency towards complexification, which counters that. So if the tendency for complexification is a remedy for the tendency for a system to fall apart and break down, then if complexity is a solution to that, then the manner in which we tend to try to reduce things to smaller parts in the name of things not being complicated, that we reduce complexity in the name of having control, or however we do that. So that's a higher structure of mind that not only accepts complexity, actually encourages complexity. Then we have a remedy for that tendency for things to fall apart and break down.
Yeah.
And so the kinds of solutions that we need now, the level of thinking that we need now, is to how do we increase the complexity on the planet as a remedy for the tendency for things to fall apart and break down. And instead of our tendency to align with the breaking down and falling apart, even the conversations about disruption as a positive thing. And I'm not saying it's a totally negative thing, but that we have a mindset that says, oh boy, we're going to disrupt how things are happening. And it's all fall apart, and that's in the name of evolution.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sometimes that's true, but it's not within a mindset of how does that disruption lead to greater complexity instead of just the tendency for things to fall apart and break down. So that's an example of the conversation that we could be having about what is the level of the conversation that's needed for it to have any real hope of transforming and altering this tendency of the planet as a whole to break down and fall apart. Because right now, entropy, the entropic momentum on the planet for everything to fall apart and break down could be balanced by negentropy, which is the increase of complexity, which is the remedy for entropy. And so the remedy for entropy is negentropy, which is increasing complexity, and what's the level of mind that would be able to accommodate that and encourage that and build that. So, and complexity being the integration of difference. So in this vastly integrated world, how do we integrate the difference across the spectrum of contradictions in a way that you have increased complexity as in the negentric answer to the entropic falling apart and breaking down that currently is the momentum on the planet?
The structure of mind that we currently have is contributing to further poverty. I mean, and not just poverty like people don't have enough money, but poverty like the soil is dying. For us to really come face to face with, this structure of mind is contributing to poverty in the world, that the world is breaking down, that the entropy is on a greater scale than our ability to stop it. And the antidote is what Daniel's pointing to about a new structure of mind. And for us to exhibit non-local caring, a global caring about life, it's time for us to upgrade our thinking, our structure of mind.
The level of complexity that would be the negentropy solution to the entropy then needs to be brought to the place from which you set the direction for your organization.
I think the other thing I would say is this is how business can be a catalyst for restoring negentropy. Business is the catalyst to make this happen. It can happen, and business is the one who can do it. It's will you.
Might be the only force that can do it now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We have businesses that transcend nations now.
Yeah, we do.
So it might be, and that's why we're working with business, is that business might be the only collective that would have the actual power to make the transformation that's needed.
You've been listening to the Hugh Person Project, where leading with the future is the difference that makes the difference. Thank you to Lindsay Sterling for the evocative music. If you'd like to stay tuned to further episodes, please subscribe to this podcast. See you in the next episode.